Now, Caron Butler may have only spent just one season with the purple and gold, but as is usually the case, it made a lasting impact. Among other things, Butler became close friends with Kobe Bryant during his time here in Los Angeles. And now, as an assistant coach with the Miami Heat, he sat down with our own Jamie Maggio to share some of those memories in this week's edition of Legends.
Legends, sponsored by CallJacob.com.
You only had 1 year with the Lakers, but Laker fans love you. You know, you did some work with the Lakers broadcast team a couple of years ago. When you think back on your 1 year with the Lakers, one of the best franchises in the NBA, what comes to mind? What do you think about?
Immediately, I think, how proud I was to, represent my family in a great organization, and how all the things that I was taught over the years, my first 2 years in the NBA with the godfather of the game, legendary Pat Riley, and seeing it in real time by actual figure, and my brother Kobe Bryant, and just watching him and just, I literally became his shadow. Like, I followed him everywhere. I watched his work ethic. I watched his preparation for games, the way he viewed and analyzed film. And he really just poured into me. Like, we really kicked it off, and we spent a lot of time together just on and off the court, talking about our families, talking about our futures and things like that. And that friendship just grew and grew over the years. You
came to the Lakers in the trade that sent Shaq to the Heat, right?
Yeah, I would have traded myself. I would have traded myself in that trade. People always ask me, like, "Were you mad that you got traded from Miami?" And now I'm sitting here working with everybody that probably had some type of say-so in moving the needle and getting that trade done. But I said I would have traded myself in a heartbeat. Shaq was just a different world. And when you think about the youth of myself and Lamar Odom, and then you had an older player in Brian Grant, and I think possible lottery pick or some type of draft pick was in the mix of that too. But, it worked out well for everyone.
Now you're coaching. You've also written a book. You're working in content and creating content. What do you enjoy the most? What's been the most rewarding for you since leaving playing the game on a day-to-day basis?
Me and Kobe used to always talk about our second acts, and now I feel like I'm in the midst of my third. Basketball was something that I loved doing, but that wasn't entirely who I am in my makeup. It's just a percentage of who I am as a human being. So that was something that always stuck with me. I remember sitting in Sacramento and me and him having that conversation over dinner, and he was just like, "Man, your second act, and then your third act, and then you got to inspire, and and he was just so into the conversation. He's like, "Man, watch the movie Whiplash. It's one of my favorite movies. You got to watch it." And I was just like, damn. And I went home that night and I watched it, and I was like, all right, this is what I'm doing. I was just super inspired by our conversation, and I just wanted to do more. And it's like, if you have a platform, if you have all the resources to do some of these things, like, why not? Like, take a swing at it, and don't be afraid to strike out in anything.
One thing that I thought was really cool, a positive that came out of such a horrific situation, was that term "girl dad."
Yeah.
You're a girl dad.
Yeah. How
special is it to be a girl dad?
Yeah, that's one of the things that we often talked about. I'm a father of 4 girls as well. I'm gonna tell all the men out there, your girls will protect you more than your boys. I'll tell you that. So it's an honor to be a girl dad, and they take care of me. It's like having 4 wives, man. They call me, they FaceTime me, they make sure that I'm okay, make sure that I ate, make sure my clothes clean. Like, it's amazing, man. Like, I get my biggest thrill in life just being around my kids. It's everything.
You're only a few years removed from playing, really. Are there any times when you're sitting on the bench, on the sidelines as an assistant coach now, and you're thinking like, man, I want to get in this game? Is there any part of you?
Never. Never. Like, I truly retired with my basketball competition part of me, to playing wise, complete. I exhausted that space. And now this is what I want to do. I just want to, mentor. I want to pour into, these up and coming, future stars and, role players, and, just really pour into them and give them this wealth of insight and information that, I tapped into and that I was exposed to over the years.
And you can see Jamie's full interview with Caron Butler on our website, cbsla.com/sports. Beto, when we think about Caron Butler, he's still making a big impact, not only here in Los Angeles, but in the whole NBA and even beyond now.
Yeah, he's a coach with the Miami Heat. He's also president of the Basketball Retired Players Association. But if you go and look, he does a lot of work with the Players Tribune, the website where a lot of athletes go and put stuff up there. And he writes about what it's like, his second act. And he also does a nice video. And he also talks about just the social movements that are going on in this country right now. So he's not one of those guys where, oh, I'm just a player and that was it. That's my entire identity. He talked about what Kobe had the impact on him, about your second act. And it's so many people get caught up in their identity of whether it's their job or their profession, but it's like, what are you doing for the rest of the community? It's pretty cool.
Thanks for watching Legends on SportsCentral. The law offices of Jacob Emrani are proud to support the team who built the basketball dynasty here in Los Angeles. The legendary team at calljacob.com are here for you 24/7.